You make we have do this. Oh yes, we create this space just for you. Make we talk about you. Make we talk about school, government, and politics, sports, academics, anything that concern you. I don't know where you pass through. It's all about the classroom. So tell me what one from campus. Things are going on from campus. Come on, tell me what one. Campus connection, take another one. Now, hey, I walk one from campus. And we are carried out from campus. Come on, tell me what one. I want one. Hey, walk one, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Campus Connection. It's another Tuesday evening. Woot woot.
Yeah.
And it's not just a regular Tuesday because we have our producer extraordinaire in the building co-hosting with me today, Mr. Jermaine Johnson. Hello, welcome to the show on this side. Welcome to
Well,
this side of the show.
thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. And I know that you will help me along the way, right, Anesta?
Of course, of course. Listen, we're in this together. But I'm so glad that you're on this side because now you can get a little taste of all the stress and pressure
That I give to you.
that you give to us. Now you can experience a little bit. I'm just messing. I'm just messing, guys. Jermaine is a great, great, great producer, and this is a wonderful show. We're expecting it to be an awesome time. Our topic for today is youth and campus politics, and I'm looking forward to that discussion that's coming on at 5:55. But just before we get there, everyone, we're inviting you to hop onto the live stream. Yes, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube. Hop onto the live stream and like this video, share this video, leave a comment, say good evening, campusites. Let us know you're here. And you can also feel free to reach out to us on our WhatsApp line. The number is 876-997-3125. We definitely want to hear from you. And we do have a social media question. How involved should young people be in shaping societal discourse? This sound intense. How involved should young people be in shaping conversations about change, advocating for change? So we want to hear from you. But yes, Jermaine, what do we have coming up in the show today?
Well, coming up today, we have our regular campus alert feature and our education news and bulletin. And then also we have our honor roll with Miss Danielle Tavares. She is an integrated marketing communication major at UWI Mona. And then at 5:50, our favorite, one of our favorite things, I Chose Christ.
Yep.
And that will be done by Miss Shanae Mullins. She's from the Immaculate Conception High School. And then, as you said, our big discussion with youth and politics, we have Miss Kimberly Sims, we have Mr. Rick Darby, and we have Mr. Perry Cummins Jr. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is just something that I want persons to just jump on right now, get on the
Absolutely.
YouTube, get on Facebook, and just interact and share with us as we go in there. All right.
Certainly. And we are looking forward to it. It's gonna be an awesome time. And we want to make you know of our campus alert feature for this week. So go ahead, Jermaine.
Yes, so our campus alert for today. First up, we would like to say the tertiary recruitment drive took place on Friday, April 19, 2024, at Manchester High School, and various schools, students, and parents came out and they gained meaningful information from the institutions that were present. And so the next one will be this Friday, April 26, 2024, at the National Arena in Kingston from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is absolutely free. So we are saying persons can go out and support this. And secondly, our National Maths Week, our Mathematics Week, was there last week, April 14th to the 19th, 2024. And again, this school that has been coming up quite a lot, the Inwood High School,
No,
they want,
sir.
yeah, man, Inwood is going on with a bag of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so they won the Maths Count Region 6 Creative Piece Competition. with their entry Unlocking Math, and it was composed by two students and a teacher last week, Tuesday. And finally, in some football news, I know persons are out there with the sports. We want to say congratulations to the Xavier coach, Excelsior High School, who made it 8 straight schoolgirls football titles. You imagine? So we got our
Wow.
winners on last week, St. Jago, talking about three.
Hmm.
This team 8 straight after
Wow.
really showing an dominance and defeating Homewood Technical 9-1
Woo.
in the final of the Easter Tip Friendly Society Schoolgirls Football Competition at the Stadium East yesterday. And so we're encouraging students and schools to send us their information that we can highlight it here on Campus Connection.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to say kudos to all the schools that are doing well. Not only are we seeing our schools having a good academic program, but we're seeing them start to take on the extracurricular activities, the sports, and just really excelling. So we want you to send in that information because we want to big you up. We want to celebrate you, you know. So now we're
Most
going to our education news and bulletin, and it will be read by none other than our producer, Mr. Jermaine Johnson. Take it away.
okay. All right. Thank you so much, Anesta. So education news and bulletin for Tuesday, April 23, 2024, here inside Campus Connection. Sabrina Raymond Hunter, a senior teacher at Alpha Infant School, has endorsed the iCheetah robot, a smart educational AI powered tool that will transform how young children learn and engage with technology. The robot created by Cheetah Toys and More LLC is intended to engage and teach children in the baby and early primary levels of school in a fun and engaging manner and promoting cognitive development and preparing them for future academic achievement. Speaking at the Jamaica Information Service think tank last Thursday, Mrs. Raymond Hunter described the technology as a game changer and said it has greatly influenced her students' learning. She encourages other schools to get on board with the iCheetah robot, adding that if they ever needed a demonstration of the technology, they can feel free to visit her at Alpha. The Overseas Examination Council, Commission rather, OEC, has declined to comment on the outcome of an investigation into the huge Caribbean Council CXC scam at Steertone Academy in St. Anne, but has emphasized the crucial need of all schools adhering to established security protocols. Following a disciplinary hearing, members of the school board voted that to remove Mr. Shan Mongol, the school's principal, and Andre Yeshui, the test coordinator. OEC issued a media release last Thursday, states it was made aware of the decision, but will not comment on the decision at this time. OEC says it takes seriously any allegation of examination irregularities and are committed to upholding the highest standards and international best practices in exercising our duty as examination proctors. The OEC asks all schools to become acquainted with their obligations as examination centers and to implement the essential security measures to avoid any anomalies. And finally, Marcia Smith, the state minister in the Ministry of Education and Youth, has warned principals that they are critical to the ongoing change of Jamaica's education system. State Minister Smith was speaking at the Transforming Education for National Development Trend stakeholder session held at Montego Bay Convention Center in Rosal, St. James last Wednesday. Trend, a project headed by the Ministry of Education and Youth, is intended to transform the country's education system in accordance with the ministry's overarching strategic plan, which includes recommendations from the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission report. Professor Orlando Pattison chaired the commission, and Its recommendations are set to be implemented over an 8-year period from 2023 to 2031. She outlined several targets for the initiative, including grade 4 literacy to 92% and numeracy to 80%, and at least 60 to 80% of students obtaining 5 or more passes in the external exams, including mathematics, education, and a skilled area. She is calling on all school principals to play their part in rolling out the Trend Initiative. Now for our bulletin. The Ministry of Education and Youth, in collaboration with the higher education institution, will host a tertiary drive. The ministry recognizes the importance of providing increased opportunities for Jamaicans to access tertiary level education. As such, this initiative aims to expose students to the diverse program offerings available at various higher education institutions. Now, the proposed dates and venues for the tertiary drives are as follows: Friday, April 26th, National Arena, Kingston, and Friday, May 3, 2024, Harmony Beach Park, Montego Bay, St. James. This drive allows grade 11 to 13 students to access information on career planning and higher educational pursuits, information on scholarships with assistance to apply for the same on spot, provisional acceptance to higher educational programs, work and study opportunities in the teaching profession. These sessions will run from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day, and the admission is free. Shortwood Teachers College presents Research Conference 2024 under the theme Shaping the Future for Education, Trends and Insights for Tomorrow on April 25, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. at the Marjorie Myers Hall. Keynote speaker, Professor Canute Thompson of the Faculty of Humanities and Education at the University of the West Indies, Mona. Register now. Singers, poets, musicians, dancers, actors, comedians. JIFF Film Festival invites you to register for open mic Friday, May 17 at 6 p.m. at the Jamaica Youth for Christ Auditorium, 2 Acacia Avenue, Kingston 5. Register at barryvisions.com/JIFF open mic. For more information, you may call 876-960-4830. That's all the news that we have for you today inside Education News and Bulletin.
All right. Thank you so much, Jermaine, for all of those updates. We
Right.
want to just remind everyone of our social media question. If you're joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, remember we are live. Hello to those of you who have already jumped in the comment section. But we wanted to find out from you, how involved should young people be in shaping societal discourse and advocating for change? How involved should our young people be in making change in our society? And we have a change maker in the making to
Right.
share with us on a creative block. I'm sorry, on honor roll, Miss
Honor roll,
Danielle
right.
Tavares. She's an integrated marketing communications major. And she has quite the bio here. She's a final
I'm
year
telling you,
student. She lives by the quote, life is not about finding yourself, it is about creating yourself. I definitely want to hear more about that from her. And she's on the dean's list, honor roll twice in year one and during year two. No, guys, we definitely have to talk with Danielle, but we're just going to go for a quick break. And when we return, we will hear from this very, very talented young
awesome,
lady.
awesome,
So
wonderful
please
young
stay with
lady.
us right here on the Campus Connection. We'll be back.
It's time to bounce back from that party like never before. Say goodbye to hangover blues with new Alka-Seltzer Boost. Just 2 tablets for immediate relief and a caffeine boost. Alka-Seltzer Boost is from Bayor. your career options open for local and overseas job opportunities in the booming hospitality and tourism industry with City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certification at Distinction College. Start online and face-to-face classes very soon in a career of high demand for workers globally and get certified in housekeeping, food preparation, waitering, travel, tourism, and hospitality, bartending and mixology, customer service, call center, cake baking and decorating, airline ticketing, no subjects required, no age limit. Register this week and get an additional course for free. Call Distinction College at 876-356-4167 or 354-8560. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, Ocho Rios online or St. Elizabeth. You are a dedicated small business owner dreaming big of growing your business and reaching new heights. With Access Financial Services, you can grow from where you are to where you want to be. Grow from a corner shop to your very own store, from truck driver to trucking fleet, from hairdresser to your own salon. Secure your small business loan of up to $20 million and watch as your business grows from plan to possibilities. Grow your business today with Access Financial Services. Conditions apply.
Every Thursday morning, Love 101 shares with you power-packed messages, words of encouragement, and testimonies of God's miraculous power. You get all of that in the Don't Give Up broadcast, brought to you by Celebration Church at the Portmore Skating Ring in the Portmore Mall with Pastor Prophet Michael Carter. Be sure to stay tuned to Love 101 for the Don't Give Up broadcast. Get the word you need to start your day right. The Don't Give Up broadcast, Thursdays at 5:15 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
It's gonna be alright.
When you say Fosrich, you say electrical, SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say Fosrich, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say Fosrich, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Fosrich is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Fosrich.
Okay, we are on the campus heights. Students are stop up in a price.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to the show right here on Campus Connection. And we are going to be talking with our honorable guest, Miss Danielle Tavares, Integrated Marketing Communication Major at UMona. And Anesta, you read some things about her bio and her profile. I'm telling you, listeners, viewers, it is really deep, right? She is deep. And she was also one of our readers, news readers, a couple weeks ago. And so we really
But we didn't know at the time she was so talented.
I'm telling you,
I
didn't
mean,
know at all. We're talking about humble. So I want to ask Daniel our first question though. Daniel, how do you manage your studies and doing all of these things that you are doing?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that question. It's not easy, to say the least. I'd like to say that I have pretty good time management, so that plays a role in it. But I'd also say that community plays a big role in me being able to manage everything, because when you have community, you have people who you can call on to assist you. And I feel like, we live in a society where it's kind of like you want to do everything yourself. You don't need people. And as a university student, I can most definitely say that one of the biggest things that I've learned since coming to university is how important community can be and how community is. So I'm just like pretty much able to call on people and be like, hey, I need your assistance with something. And that helps me in being able to delegate tasks. I also use like apps that keep me on track. I'm a pretty organized person. So that also all pretty much helps. Like if I need to remember something, it's going in my calendar, it's being written down. That way I don't forget it. So that also helps me to keep organized and stay on top of things.
Wow, it looks like this is the type of friend that we should have in Anesta.
I'm telling you.
I'm just putting it out right there, Daniel. You need to join the Campus Connection team.
Definitely, definitely.
You have a question for her, Anesta. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So Daniel, I'm seeing just a whole list of leadership awards. Talk to me a little bit of some of your leadership experience and what what makes you such a successful leader.
I'd say that I started university being online,
Mhm.
and that was during my first year, and I transitioned face to face in my second year. even though I was online in my first year, like you have, it's like a mentality thing. You kind of have to tell yourself, like not even ask yourself, you tell yourself, like, this is where you want to see yourself. This is, and then you ask yourself, how exactly are you going to get there? So for me, networking is very important, and university space is a big space for you to network and meet new people. And for me, you can learn from just about anyone in any little role that you're doing. So
Mhm.
from I was in first year, I got involved, even though it was online. I transitioned face to face for second year, and I got to meet so many people. I've gotten to meet so many people between last year and this year, which is my final year. And I'd say that what helps to make me a successful leader is that I'm open and willing to learn. Just like I said, you
Mm.
can learn from just about anyone. You can learn from someone who's just passing on the street, who you randomly talk to. And I'm
Mm.
always open to, for me, there's always room for improvement. And I know that I'm not perfect. I know that there are little things that I need to learn, that can help me become a better leader. So, yeah.
Mm.
Wow, I'm telling you, you see, Daniel is answering all the questions that we would have asked after, a question like that. But Daniel, you shared a little bit about, involvement of community. But we want specifically, how is it that your family, though, has helped you to remain focused? What inputs have they, given you in this journey, this academic journey?
What my family has done for me goes a long way back before even university. It's more or less them instilling in me that, listen, I'm not going to, like my parents would say, I'm not going to always be over you to tell you what to do. You have to like have it in your mind that, whatever you want to put your mind to, you go ahead and do it. I'm not going to walk back at you and say, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? So from an early time, I've always had the need or felt the need to take initiative. And I have to thank them for that, because they are there in my corner always, where I can lean on them when I need them. But at the end of the day, I know that it's, the world is big, and like I said, community is important. However, there is a long journey of which you will have to walk a lot of the most of the road on your own. So I definitely say that that is where they've helped me in order for me to be the individual who I am today, to be able to stand on my own and be and be strong enough to make my own decisions, own sensible decisions, and like help me with like decision making and such.
Mm. And
Wow.
what are some of your plans for the future? You strike me as the type of person that you don't just want to be one thing in life. You know, some people just want to be one thing. You strike me as the type of person that want to be like five different careers. I don't know. What are
I
your
mean,
current
how did you
plans?
know? Like, I don't think we talked that before, but how did you know?
I
Um,
just do.
it was really hard for
She's
me.
a prophet here. I just saying that.
Wow. Wow, Jeremy. Wow. Okay.
Right,
um,
Daniel.
I have, I believe that, life is very, very short. However, because of its shortness, you have to just go for what you want. And that comes in deciding what you want. So it took me a while to decide that I wanted to be in communications, because at one point I was studying to be in medicine, and then I considered architecture, and then I was considering event planning. So I was a little all over the place. But media is my niche, and media is where I found my love and joy for career. But in terms of where do I see myself in a couple years, I do want to be an established author. So, eventually I'm going to publish another book, and I want to
Did
be
you say
able to.
another?
Yes,
Oh,
she said another. She's gonna like jump over that, right? I'll
Yeah.
tell you,
Okay,
you
maybe
left that part out. Tell us in
hold
like
on,
a
hold
minute,
on.
about that.
when I was 19, like it was still within my first year of university, about 19 or such, I published my first poetry book, which is called Their Younger Me Things I Wish I Knew, where I basically wrote poems in which I was talking to a younger version of myself, things that I wish somebody would have told me, little things that I would have learned within those 19 years that I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. So
Mhm.
that's what it is. It's available on Amazon if you'd love to purchase it. So yes.
Awesome.
Hey,
Congrats.
man, this is so awesome. Hey, at least we're gonna wrap, but let me just say this from the producer's chair, not as guest host. We're going to be having you back, Daniel, because we need to speak more on, a broader issue of the whole thing of poetry. And I know, Anesta, you would love this, and we'll have a show to see how it is that we can have young persons develop their gift in poetry and writing. So we want to just say thank you so much, Daniel, for coming on, being our honored guest for today, and we will have you back.
I look forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
All right, take care. Wow.
Man, what an interview. I'm sitting here and I'm like, wow, I haven't done anything yet.
Right. It's like, oh, when I published my first book, it was, I just continued talking.
But we thank God for her and just, for what God has been doing in the lives of our students. And so we'll be moving on to our next feature, and we'll be having our I Chose Christ, You Should Too. And this is by Shanae Mullins, Immaculate. She's from Immaculate Conception High School. Do enjoy.
Good day, my name is Shanae Mullins and I'm a sixth form student at the Immaculate Conception High School. My walk with Christ started when I was really young, as I had gotten baptized at 7 years old. As I got older, it became difficult for me to stay focused on the Lord. My faith became shaky and I was not representing God as I should. The main reason for this was my growing desire to fit in with my classmates and friends at school. This desire only became stronger when I entered high school. Being a church girl or being a bold vocal Christian was something my peers would make fun of. It was seen as uncool or weird. As a young teen, I was always concerned with how others viewed me. So the thought of being the odd one out or not being accepted at school was terrifying to me. However, when COVID came around, staying at home away from the regular influence of my peers allowed me the time to reflect. During this time, I came to regret trying so hard to fit in. I was not happy with how I was distancing myself from my identity as a Christian. This was something that weighed on my mind throughout the majority of COVID, so much so that I would feel uncomfortable every time I thought about it. It was only after I finally prayed about my situation and my regrets that I genuinely felt at peace, like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I felt happier with myself, and I was no longer afraid of letting others know about my faith. Between fitting in with my peers and Christ, I chose Christ, and you should too.
Thank you so much, Shanae Mullins of the Immaculate Conception High School, for reminding us of why you chose Christ and why we should too. We're going to go to a quick break, and when we return, we will have our discussion on youth and campus politics. Stay with us here on Campus Connection.
It's not over.
Listen to words of upliftment in Something More with Bishop Harold Blair, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center.
And he cried out to God. Have you been there? Have you been there when it seems as if you've been left all alone and no one cares for you? No one gives to you a word of comfort or consolation. But as you lift up your eyes to the hills from whence cometh your help, the Lord heard your cry.
That's Something More with Bishop Harold Blair. Something More comes to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. here on the family station, Love 101.
It's not over till Mindset Conference 2024, the Gospel Edition, Monday to Wednesday, May 20 to 22, at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel with Pastor John Gray, Pastor Travis Green, Dr. Jackie Green, Todd Garber, Phil Thomas, Minister Marion Hall, Kevin Downswell, Sherwin Gardner, Rhoda Isabella, Pastor Junior Tucker, Bishop Everton Thomas, and many more. Hosted by Nadine Blair, IT Ellis, Ella the Boy, Zebanair Dixon, Angelic One, Angela. Join us for dinner, workshop, panel discussion, praise and worship, undiluted word, and concert every night. Mindset Conference, equipping, encouraging, and empowering the creatives in the kingdom of Christ. For more info, mindsetconference.org. Get your tickets now. Powered by the Holy Spirit and the Empire Management. God is the answer.
Okay. Where are
Yes, welcome back to Campus Connection. And for those just joining us, we are talking about youth and politics. And we had such a wonderful testimony. I just don't want to jump over that testimony a while ago. It was just so refreshing hearing about how God really transformed lives. But right now, we have some young people that we're going to be introducing. But before they come, we just want to, set the tone and set the pace for what we're going to be discussing. And so we're talking about politics, and politics is an ancient Greek word, politica, and it means affairs of the city. Is a set of activities that are associated with making decisions in groups or other forms of power relations among individuals, such as the distribution of resources or status. Young people's engagement in politics plays a crucial role in shaping societal discourse and advocating for change. So we'll be discussing the dynamics of youth politics or representation while pursuing academic success. And who do we have on this evening, Anesta?
We have Miss Kimberly Sims, the national president, national president of the Jamaica Prefects Association. We also have Mr. Rick Darby, president of the UTEC Jamaica Students Union, and Mr. Perry Cummings Jr., Guild President-elect at the University of the West Indies. Also want to remind everyone of our social media question. We want to find out from you, how involved should young people be in shaping societal discourse, conversations on advocating for change. And I know when we say campus politics, everybody is up in arms because them think we're talking about JLP and PNP and all of these things. But no, people, we are talking about student affairs and student leadership, and just how we can use leadership to influence people for change, right? Especially on our campuses. So, with lady and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Awesome. I mean, I want to just ask you guys the first question in terms of, how does it feel to be a student leader? What is your overall emotion? I know tiredness is not an emotion, so you're not allowed to say that. But what's it like being a student leader? And I'm gonna start with Perry and then go to Rick and Kimberly.
All right, so good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. Greetings to all those who are on the panel, and thank you again. It's a pleasure being back on Campus Connect. What it's like being a student leader, it's not an easy road. You can imagine really being involved to the point where sometimes you become so selfless as a student leader at times, where you forget your own obligations, your personal obligations, and it's something that if you're not willing to master it, it might consume you. Always putting persons before you tend to leave out your own personal obligations. But overall, being a student leader, it's a privilege to serve. And I think when persons have elected you in a position of representation, I don't take it lightly. So being a student leader is a wonderful experience, and it's something that I always encourage.
Awesome. Rick?
Yes, I have to agree with Mr. Cummings Jr. It is a very demanding role, and it's really eye-opening when you get to interact with different students and you see different cases where we advocated for this and it affects this student in that way, which affects another student in a the quite opposite. So it's really eye-opening to just interact with students on a daily and understand where they're coming from, what they're going through. It also, as he said, we can become too selfless at times. I've been criticized of being too selfless at times, not sleeping, not remembering to eat, constantly in meetings, out of meetings, running up and down, and then just forgetting about self. So we have to have a team around us to guide us and bring us back to remember that, hey, you're human as well. But it's really eye-opening, and it's really a privilege to serve my fellow students.
And Kimberly?
All right, good evening, everyone. And I agree with our other two guests. It is definitely such an honor, it's such a privilege to be able to serve student leaders across the island as the national president of the Jamaica Prefects Association. Beyond even the national role, as it relates to the more personal and intimate level, being able to interact with students, being able to hear them express their concerns, having them be able to voice their suggestions and be a part of the decision making process is such a very close thing to my heart. And likewise, it does get tiring because again, as student leaders, we do get a bit too selfless, but there is a lasting refrain that really sticks with me, and it is that we are a human first, then we are students, and then we are student leaders. So you're a student first, you're a human first rather, then you are a student, and then you are a student leader.
Wow, I like the order in which you put that a while ago, talking
Mhm.
about being a human and then student, because when you are on a campus, you are there to actually get an education, and then you are a student leader. But in these activities and becoming a student leader, there is some level of campaigning that goes on. And I think that's the exciting part sometimes when people, going out on the debates. But how do you prepare, the campaign strategy and going out while balancing your schoolwork and activities? How do you go about doing that? I think Rick alluded to that somewhat earlier. So I'm going to start with him, and then we have Kimberly and then Perry.
In terms of finding that balance, it's all about analyzing what's the approach you're going to take. So one of the first things is to get more intimate with the students of finding out what's really the problems, and then starting to develop that manifesto and saying, okay, this manifesto is going to address rather these issues that the students are having, and then going around and actually convincing students, hey guys, remember you have to vote. Your voice matters, because it is your vote that puts us into this position so we can advocate on your behalf. And then it's also about creating that strong team. So looking for persons with the type of skill set that's necessary for the campaign. So looking at persons who are able to manage that PR side for you, manage in terms of writing the content, getting some creative ideas. Okay, this is a video we're going to shoot. These are the pictures. These are the poses for the pictures, etc. So just formulating that overall team, because we can't do it alone. So the team is important. So getting that strong team, and then of course having on the side as well that team in class. So okay, I'm up to date with this assignment. I have this test coming up, and so forth. So having that mixture and having that balance, creating those different teams and being in the center of all of that, and just managing to say, okay, it's time for campaign now. Okay, it's time for school. It's time to interact with these students. It's time to really get down on a personal level and really connect and network with them. Because throughout the campaign period, it's really eye-opening, because you get to hear so many different perspectives from students that you wouldn't even get to know on a daily basis, because on a day-to-day basis, you're in meetings, going about executing events and just thinking about their welfare. But having to really sit down during that campaign period and actually hearing them flesh out their ideas, and then that's when you get to take from those ideas and get to implement them, and you say, okay, this has had a rather lasting impact.
Wow, that is so awesome. Kimberly?
All right, so as it relates to campaigning for the role of national president, there was no campaign as I was selected. But as head girl of the Montego Bay High School for Girls last year, I can tell you that campaign season is always the most hectic season at school, because it's at this point that all of the students want to be a part and to cheer and just be a part of that entire excitement and the festivities. So before campaigning, I'd made sure to organize my schedule, prioritize responsibilities, and that took the form of dedicating specific times to campaign activities, creating posters, preparing speeches, meeting with fellow students to discuss what it is that we want for the school on a whole going forward, and ensuring that it aligns with their needs and values. And of course, this could not have been done by my own. No man is an island. So what was really important to me was having a campaign team who supported me with public relations in ensuring that persons knew who exactly was Kimberly Sims and ensuring that my manifesto was spread out and disseminated amongst all the students at school. And I also made sure to communicate with my teachers and my faculty advisors to ensure that I could fulfill my academic obligations whilst campaigning, so that once I was elected, I continued to manage that time effectively by setting aside the specific times for duties for head girl versus as student, and of course again as a human being, so I could fulfill my own needs and my own obligations as a human.
Wow, wow. Quite a lot coming out there. Perry, over to you.
Campaigning. All right. So, well, let me tell you. You see, UWI student politics, especially for the guild president race, it tends to mimic what we see on a national level, and you can interpret that in many ways. It can be a very emotional period, especially when you have to face opposition, which is natural in student politics. Politics overall, there's a lot of opposition that you'll come up against, because the reality is, Mr. Johnson and Ms. Samuels, the thing is that everybody will support you. And we have to understand that in student politics, not everyone will vote for you, not everybody will support you, not everybody will join your campaign team. So you have to have this mental fortitude where you tell yourself that, listen, you have to believe in yourself, believe in your own vision, believe in your own plans. I agree with Mr. Darby, you do your research, you get all the information that is needed to put a manifesto together. But you have to believe in your own manifesto in order to sell it to students. And what I recognized is that if you don't have that, and I can't leave out God, if you don't put God in the midst of what you're doing, if you don't draw strength from somewhere, because you have to have a source of strength. When it's you alone, because even though you have a campaign team, and everybody gone about them business, and you one left in your room, and you have to now think about how you're going to convince another set of students to vote for you, to buy into your vision, it can become very frustrating. So I always ensure that I put God first. I ensure that, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not doing this just because I can. I'm doing it because I believe in what I'm putting forward to students. And you have to convince students to believe in you, because that's how you're going to get the votes. But campaigning, it's not easy. Balancing school. I'm going to be a realist here. Sometimes you have to give up something, Mr. Johnson. I'm going to tell you, if I tell you that I was on par with all of my assignments and with all of my schoolwork, let me tell you something, I'd be lying. There are some classes that I had to miss. But again, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to win? What are you willing to give up, in order to ensure that you come out the victor? Because politics is a place of sacrifice. And I'll end on that note.
Wow. And I just want to say, Anessa, that to tell the campus that Perry did not say, him skip class and fail him subjects. I want the guy
right.
He skip class and he make sure say him sort out himself right after it, right? And we just want to make that clear.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that Perry no fail a subject.
It's interesting that you mentioned the need to advocate for students. And I think what I want to know from you guys, we have just about a minute before the break, but probably Rick, you can speak to this. You said that you basically go around, find out what are the needs of the students, and then you put your manifesto together. Where in that process is there space for, okay, let me see how doable this plan or this solution is? Because sometimes the students have a legit gripe, but then when you look at what it will take to solve their issue, is it doable within that 1 year tenure that you have and all of those things? So is that a part of your campaigning process? I guess we'll have to find out after the break. Stick and stay with us here on Campus Connection. We'll be right back, guys.
Okay. We are on the campus.
Receive words of strength from the Voice of Power with Bishop Dr. Delford Davis.
The battle of seed has been declared many years ago and it's still raging. I will put enmity between thee and between the woman, thy seed and her seed. A war will be on perpetually until Jesus returns. But I know who has already won the war. I know who has already won the war.
That's the Voice of Power with Bishop Dr. Delford Davis, brought to you by the Power of Faith Ministries International in Portmore. Voice of Power comes to you every Thursday at 9:30 a.m. right here on the Family Station. Love 101.
Hey you, yes you, ready for your shopping to bring a little extra with your Credit Unions of Jamaica Access Plus Debit MasterCard. Every swipe's not a spend, but a chance to earn Brata. Transform your everyday shopping into a hunt for rewards. Just spend 3,000 Jamaican dollars and boom, flip your day from good to great. For real, you could win Amazon gift cards and iPhone 15 and even a dreamy getaway in Cancun, Mexico. Hey, Mamacita! You hear what me say? Step into the world of Access the Access Plus Brata. Don't sleep on this, man. Swipe your way to excitement with your Credit Unions of Jamaica Access Plus Debit MasterCard. Start swiping and start winning. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Portmore Church of God Music Department presents Rhythm and Praise on Friday, April 26, 2024 at 7 p.m. featuring Rhoda Isabella, Rhonda Positive, John Mark Wigan, Audia Spencer Brown, Minister Lee Brown, and Prince Saj, MC Dexter Johnson at the Portmore Church of God, Edgewater, Portmore. Admission 3,000 pre-sold and 3,500 at the gate. Children under 12, 1,500. For ticket information, please contact 988-1857 or visit boropen.com/Rhythm Praise. Sponsored by Crosslinks Productions, PNS Events and Vacations, Jamaica Youth for Christ, and Love 101.
Jamaica's gangs are like packs of rats. They live in filth and try and drag us all in there with them, spreading the disease of violence and corruption everywhere. But like a pack of rats, they can be eliminated with your help. If you have information on gangs, call Crime Stop on 311. This message is brought to you by Crime Stop and their marketing partners, Lime and NCB.
When you say Fosrich, you say electrical. SWA cables, conduits, transformers, and breakers. When you say Fosrich, you say lighting, chandeliers, and more. When you say Fosrich, you say LEDs and solar water heaters. Fosrich is electrical, lighting, solar, and LEDs. Visit us today, Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay. Fosrich.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.
All right. Welcome back to Campus Connection, and we're here. I'm telling you, it's a hot discussion. We're looking at youth and campus politics. And just before the break, Anissa posed that question to Rick. I hope Rick remembered, that question, and so Rick can just go and respond as best as possible.
Yes. So, in response to that question, well, for me, this is my second term as president. I mean, last year I would have came out with a very extensive manifesto, but over the course of the tenure, I realized that, okay, I always had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do a second term. And over the course of the year, I realized that, hey, some of these points aren't actually achievable in 1 year. So some of these points I'm going to have to do as legacy projects. So starting them and hoping that my successor will continue on them. So coming into my second term now, when I actually got around and I started speaking more to the students, I realized that, okay, some of these points I have to tweak them, because last year I was serving a different set because we were 50% face-to-face, 50% online. So now we're coming fully face-to-face. So I'm going to have to adjust them So it's really about really connecting with the students and understanding the needs that we're serving, because sometimes we put out some manifestos, but then over the course of the tenure, realize that based on what the students are expecting, we have to tweak those, and based on what's currently happening, because I would have remembered 3 plans that I started out with, and we came into the tenure hot, we got on them same as we started, but based on the climate of what was happening overall in Jamaica, we had to shift those points and move not more so physical, but into the technological aspect. So it's all about really analyzing as we go along what points can be achieved and what points can be left as legacy projects for presidents after me to come to continue.
Wow, this young man sounds like a real leader, right? I don't want to mention, honestly, I can mention which high school he went to. I don't want to, but there's a high school he went to. I just leave that out right here. I don't want anybody to think anything. But we talk about, the oppositions that come at times. And Kimberly, you are in the high school and you are making some decisions. You are a prefect. What is it how do you deal with when it comes down to admin? Because I know prefects usually kind of represent admin per se, but when you have some issues dealing with the student population and they may seem small in the eyes of the admin, how do you deal with those things? And afterwards, Perry and Rick can come in, because we know at the university level it can be very intense at times. So Kimberly, you can go ahead.
Oh Lord, at the high school level, it is definitely a challenge to get admin to come on board some of our ideas some of the times. But what I can definitely say is that it requires a level of diplomacy, a level of advocacy, and this is more so pertaining to student councillors. And for any student leader in the space, you have to have a level of persistence. Now, in order for admin to actually listen to our concerns and our suggestions, it's important that we come to them completely prepared with anything that they might come and ask us with. So, for example, it's important for us to gather evidence and support. So whether this is conducting your surveys, getting your testimonials, ensuring that you have some data to be presented to them to highlight the significance of the issue, to show them that this issue is not simply a small one, but it is large for us as the students. And by showcasing this concrete evidence, we are then able to convince administration to actually listen to what we have to say. Another key strategy, I would say, is employing effective communication. What do I mean by this? You might have your ideas, but you might come off a little rude some of the time. So you have to ensure that as a student leader, you are respectful, you are also persuasive, you are able to articulate why the issue is important to students and why exactly administration should move for this change to be created. And I hate to say it, but it's so important for us to build relationships with administration. Networking is important in any space that you go to. Regardless of if it is the secondary level, the tertiary level, it's important for you to be able to form bonds, for persons to be able to trust you and rely on you and say that, you know what, the messenger here is definitely somebody that we can trust with student concerns. There are persons that we can actually say, okay, we can take this person's advice and we can ensure that what they are saying is on behalf of the student populace, and what they are saying is coming from a place of service, of serving the students on a larger scale and ensuring that everybody's needs are addressed and dealt with.
Wow, thank you so much for that response. So we have the two gentlemen that are going to respond quickly, a minute each. So Perry, then Rick.
All right, so quickly, as it relates to administration,
Right.
yeah, the tertiary level, it's a bit more intense. Simply because at that level, you get more autonomy over certain, over your constituents. For the guild council at UWI, it's really another organ of university. So you get certain leverage from a constitutional standpoint. And we know this as student leaders getting into the role. So we figure that, listen, if we advocate for X, we should get X based on constitution, based on policy that governs students. And I think that's where we really should be advocating from. Admin sometimes oppose admin sometimes work with us. As I met with the principal not too long ago, I tell him that, listen, man, we're not working against each other. We should be working together because students are the key stakeholders of the university, and we're here to help them. So that's really it for me.
Okay, quickly, Rick.
Yes, so as I would have alluded to, it's really sometimes research driven. So getting the necessary data that we need to support whatever cause we're advocating for, as well as ensuring this is what the policy says, this is what we're advocating for. The policy says this, but the policy is not putting the students it's putting the students at a disadvantage. So it's about just really aligning those perspectives. So they're of their perspective, we have ours, and we just have to communicate that effectively so they can understand that, hey, listen, I'm looking out for the best interest of my students. The students are the main stakeholders of this university. That is what you're supposed to be looking at too. And it's about just communicating and getting those visions aligned so that we can collectively come together and see the point that we're trying to make, and also ensure that we have research and data to back what we're saying.
Wow. Yes. Well, final thing, Anesta.
Just wanted to find out from Kimberly if she has any words of wisdom for up and coming youth leaders, student leaders. In light of our social media question, how involved should young people be in affecting change in our society?
Okay, my advice to any up and coming student leaders is to ensure that you don't lose yourself along the way. I would have heard a guest say this before, but in the realm of student leadership, you can oftentimes lose yourself trying to aim to that highest level. You can sometimes lose sight of your own goals, of what you want to achieve for yourself in achieving what you have for others. And in this sense, I must say, remember, student leaders, regardless of your age, you are a human first, then you are a student, then you are a student leader. And with that, I close.
All right. Ooh, solid words. We have I want to hear from Rick and Perry in 30 seconds. Go, Rick.
So what I want to say is just believe in yourself. There is no limits. If you limit yourself, you place yourself in a box. So just believe in yourself, believe you can accomplish anything, and all things are possible through Christ. So just ensure that you're putting the maximum effort out there. You're believing in yourself, you're believing in God, and you're guided, and you'll be fine. Trust and believe.
All right, Perry.
Yes, never stop advocating. Put God first. Believe in your manifesto, believe in your vision. And listen, man, I'm still calling on the government. Remember to increase the allocation to tertiary level education. It's very important. It is vital. And that's my point.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for spending your time with us on this discussion platform. We certainly enjoyed it. We learned a lot from you, and we wish you all the best as you continue to do your part to advocate for a better society. We wish you all the best. Take care.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. And coming up on our 2024 will be Connect and Study with Jesus 2024. We just want to say thanks to Dr. Nadine Blair, our programs manager, Timoy Butler, Shania, our campus liaison, David Sutton and Latifa, Read for News, Raquel Robertson and Ruth Lawrence. And the guests that we had on, Daniel Cox, Daniel Tavares, Shanae Mullins, Kimberly Sims, Rick Darby, and Perry Cummings Jr. Final words, Anesta.
That's it for the show. We'll see you next week as we explore more things while going on campus. See you next week.
All right, see you next week, guys. Bless you.